I was my own biggest obstacle.
Okay.
I think there were days where I was so in my head, and letting go of the outcome was probably the biggest obstacle that I had to say, okay, I've done everything I possibly can.
Help people understand what that preparation really looks like in terms of, let's just say, you're walking into a meeting with somebody new, right? Somebody maybe that, let's take it to your current business, right? Like a prospective new client or a prospective new, opportunity that you would work with. What does preparation look like for you now in that, so people can understand how you're actually preparing?
Yeah. So, well, first of all, even before we get to a meeting with a potential client, a process and preparation on LinkedIn. It's how I'm showing up every single day on LinkedIn. It is ensuring that my posts are aligned with who I am. It's ensuring that letting go of the outcome of who potentially will see it or won't see it, because that's not within my control. I focus on the controllables every day, always have. And so the process of that, then the process of how do I reach out to clients? How do clients reach me? What is the DM process? How does it become something super authentic for me, that it's not a pitch slap, which nobody wants? How do I ensure that the person on the other end knows I care, because I care very, very deeply. So all I can control is how I show up and how I treat others. So that's it. So my process is, how am I showing up? And then when I get to have a coffee with someone, which is part of my process, is leading people to those conversations, I'm curious. I want to know who you are. Why are you talking to me today? What's going on? How can I potentially serve someone? And at the end of that conversation, it flips to, would it be helpful if I shared a little bit about what I do? And it is seamless. And then after that conversation, we lead to the next conversation. And it is this continuous, you called it once, ping pong tennis match. It's a continuous process of sharing.
I serve you, you serve me back. Bing, boom.
And I serve a lot of people, by the way, free. I serve a lot of people, like, incredible content.
I have to ask this question though. Yeah. Absolutely, because you sound as well trained as anybody that we've ever worked with. I think part of that is because, and I think this is true for all good coaching, the student or the trainee has to have like the right intangibles in order to match the system and the coaching and the process. It's like a perfect fit. You're so process driven. You are so maniacal about having a step-by-step and focusing on the controllables, that what we teach in modern business development, it's like, Lego pieces fitting together. It's unbelievable. Did you have any bad habits, or did you have any mental roadblocks that you had to overcome to adopt the system?
That's a good question.
Because I know for us, like, and particularly, we're talking about car sales, right? Most car sales systems are very transactional, right? Yes, I have to build rapport with you when you walk in the door, but ultimately it's about me furthering the sale while you're in the dealership. How do I push you to get papers and numbers in front of you? I'm not saying that's the way you sold, but just in terms of having a sales mindset, were there any obstacles or roadblocks for you that you had to overcome to get the process in place?
So before I answer that question, I want to say the reason why this worked is because I worked my ass off.
Yeah, of course. It only works if you work.
Let's be clear.
Easy is not part of the equation.
Simple, not easy. Right. Simple, not easy.
I worked incredibly hard because I wanted to see if this is a viable business.
Right.
And by the way, it is. but I worked my butt off. I took every single piece of advice and coaching and process and structure. I took it to the bank, and it worked.
She was the first one to send us a spreadsheet. Like,
tracking
what I
all
did.
of the,
Like,
tracking all the
you know, I
behavior.
remember Shay and I like going, maniac. Complete maniac.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It takes.
It was really,
That's what
it was also really fun. But I think I was afraid. I was my own biggest obstacle.
Okay.
I think there were days where I was so in my head, and letting go of the outcome was probably the biggest obstacle that I had to say, okay, I've done everything I possibly can. I've got the process. I worked my ass off. And the more I practiced talking with people about what I do, that was a muscle that took me time to figure out how that flowed. So it sounded really authentic to me, because it has to be. It's me. It's
I don't think
my
we
process.
said to the audience what you do.
Correct. That was going to be the next segue of the conversation. Keep it going. Yeah.